Select your character.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do Knuckles next. Normally I would go in order around like this, but like we saw in Sonic Story Mode, Tails was with Sonic for like a good 70% of it. So a lot of Tails' levels are just levels we already did as Sonic. A lot of his story is already stuff we saw as Sonic. So we're gonna do Knuckles next just for the sake of some variety. His gameplay is different, his story's different, and another reason that I'm gonna get to when we get into it.
Okay, let's go!
So keep in mind, last time we saw Knuckles was at the end of Sonic and Knuckles, where they dropped the Master Emerald back off on Angel Island, and he was like, "Thanks, bros," and then went back to just chilling out at Carnival Night Zone, I would assume. So let's see, what's he been up to since
As far back
then?
as I can remember, I've been living here on this dark island, always guarding the Master Emerald from anything that could harm it. I don't know why I was given this job, why it was my fate. Destined to be here forever.
What the?
Oh, someone looks familiar. Doesn't this guy look familiar?
What's going on here? Oh no! Something's happened to the Master Emerald! Huh? Who are you? Did you do this? Oh, I'll get you for this!
Knuckles, you're bad at your job.
Oh!
Damn! Ow.
Hey! No fair!
Did you seriously say no fair?
Wait!
Chaos! Stop doing that. It's
What's
cheap.
happening to you? Come back here! Whoa, that was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Oh no, it's starting to happen. Without the Master Emerald's power, this whole island will fall into the ocean.
Again! Why does this keep happening? I swear I've been living in peace on this island for my entire life, and then all of a sudden... This is the second time this happened. It's getting really annoying. Like, it's such a small span of time. At least it landed next to a landmass this time. Last time it was smack dab in the middle of the ocean. And unexplained.
It's up to me to find the
Knuckles is just in Station Square now for no reason. Not gonna explain how he got there.
Blew off everywhere. Guess I better start looking anywhere I can.
So I guess that explains where Chaos came from and where Robotnik got him. I mean, like, you kind of have to extrapolate a little bit, but we saw the egg carrier flying towards the flying towards Angel Island.
You should be able to get into City Hall.
Who are you? How do you know my name? So I guess, like, we can assume that Eggman saw the mural about Chaos and was like, I don't know, I guess the mural must have said, like, Chaos, fuck you, is contained within the Master Emerald, so it was like, okay, let's go wake him up, I guess? And so I guess, like, don't think about it, don't worry about it, somehow he woke up Chaos out of the Master Emerald and started feeding him Chaos Emeralds, I guess, I don't know. And then also somehow Chaos ended up getting to Station Square and causing a ruckus. Like, maybe that was the same night that he popped out of the Master Emerald. This is Knuckles' gameplay. I really like Knuckles' gameplay. As you can see, we're in a relatively open version of the level that Sonic did. We saw this level as Sonic. It's exactly the same geography, it's shaped exactly the same, but the context of how we're moving around within it has changed. We're starting where Sonic ended the level here with the bell, And instead of being given like a race to the end of the goal, like with Sonic, instead Knuckles' gameplay is based around wandering around this open-ish area. All these fucking woodland critters wandering into the street. Like, we could probably trace this back to... You're driving way too fast, dude. Look at that fucking car. To where Sonic started out the level, if we wanted to. Oh, good lord. Like, I'm sure it's like somewhere around here, he started the level, this section of the level, after racing down the side of the building. And as Sonic, it was relatively open-ended, but as Sonic, like, the context of it was different, where his goal was to race from point A to point B, whereas Knuckles, it's the same level design, but the shape of the level still facilitates his style of gameplay, which I think is really nifty. And again, that's something that only Adventure has. It only has the 10 levels and 3 sections per level, and every character goes through a different section, with Sonic going through all 3. Whereas Knuckles will only have the sections of levels that are open spaces like this. He won't have racetrack style space. Like, he won't go to earlier on in this level where it was a race across like the floating highways and the like the rooftops. He'll only do levels like this because that's what facilitates his gameplay. So remembering the levels that Sonic went through, you can already kind of put in your head which levels Knuckles will go to and which like sections of the levels he'll go to too.
Found it.
And I just think that's really nifty how, like, the level design that they made 10 levels, but they work with what they had. Quality over quantity.
Good enough.
And they do a lot of different things with the exact same levels every single time. I just think that's pretty nifty. I think that's worthy of praise and recognition. So now it's nighttime again, huh? Station Square at night. Don't we know some other characters who were in Station Square at night? Ah, we can't go in the store. Who else was in Station Square at nighttime? Oh, they're not here yet. Okay, it's after you finish the level, I'm guessing. I guess that... Oh, by the way, Chow in space! The future is there... The future in their hands? Man, that's like... The future in their hands. Yeah. It's not in... Is in their hands. The future in their hands. Chow in space. That, like, the fucking texture is so... Like, this was never meant to be seen at 720 resolution.
No trains are currently in service.
So Knuckles is the character who I think got the most... I feel like he's a character that they had the least to work off of. I mean, there's nothing that the 3D games ever did with Knuckles that's necessarily out of character. But I feel like there was less meat to work with him. There we go. Because, like, what was Knuckles' story in Sonic and Knuckles? Oh, he was the lone guardian of Angel Island. He was the last of his kind. Which, by the way, raises, like, I feel Knuckles' story mode in this game is actually kind of, like, depressing and tragic. Like, already you had these implications in Sonic and Knuckles, the Sonic 3 and Knuckles, that he didn't have an understanding or respect for his heritage. He didn't know anything about it, which seemed to imply that he's been alone his entire life. I mean, he was willing to throw a bomb in some old ancient building without, like, a care in the world. Fuck you, Sonic. Why do you get a statue, piece of shit? And in this, like, it clarifies that he's been alone on the island ever since he can remember. He doesn't even remember his family. All he remembers is being alone and being tasked with protecting the Master Emerald and safeguarding the island. Not like the heritage of the ancient echidnas. So this is after Sonic and Tails have gone through this level, by the way, because the vault is full. You can... That's very overt then. All he knows, like, when he came online, right? He doesn't remember his family. He doesn't remember his heritage. The only thing he knows is, like, I gotta protect the Master Emerald. That's all he has. And again, like, that's kind of depressing to me. He doesn't know anything else. He's just living this life of solitude with this purpose that he has no context for, that he has no understanding of. It's just what he do, right? I feel like that's kind of a bummer. But, like, what do we know about him? We know he likes grapes. He knows he's alone, but without any seemingly clear understanding. And he was kind of he was very antagonistic towards Sonic throughout most of that game. And the thing that I think is interesting is a little bit of that gets lost. Oh, and he got tricked by Eggman into thinking that Sonic and Tails were the bad guys. So, a lot of his personality in these games isn't necessarily made up. It is extrapolated from what was there with Sonic and Knuckles. Like, he's alone. He's like, not in a depressing way. Like, he is a bit of a lone wolf. He has a solitary nature about him. He's kind of proudful, and he's gullible, because he did get tricked. So he's not, like, he's more brawn than brain. I feel like that's a fair assessment. He ain't necessarily dumb, although that is one of those things that gets exaggerated over time. It gets exaggerated to where he is now kind of treated as being really stupid. Knuckles gets the most flashbacks, which I think is appropriate because he is an echidna, so he is the most in tune. But what's interesting to me is
where in the world
he
am I?
still doesn't learn anything about his heritage from this. He doesn't get a clear enough
remember
picture.
Being here before, but something about it is familiar.
So obviously,
This is very strange.
so obviously Knuckles is an echidna, and it's very clear that the culture of echidnas presented in this game is the culture that Knuckles originates from. Like, you'll even notice that he's got that little necklace ring around his neck. Has lived with war for a long time. War has made us rich, but the Chief's daughter doesn't agree with us. What can we do? So I already talked about this at the end of Sonic during the credits there. But obviously the echidnas were very militaristic, expansionist, imperialist culture. And who knows how far out their reach expanded. But at minimum, the area that Mystic Ruins is now was kind of the seat of their empire, and all that's left is the very, very tip top of this pyramid. This is the same pyramid, very blatantly. This pyramid is that pyramid. And, like, this is almost like the top floor of their empire. Like, you can see out in that direction. That's all Huh. What's that mountaintop there? Like, obviously there's a lot of, like, artistic license and reading into it that you need to take. But you can almost imagine, like, this is on top of a plateau or something. And leading down, we saw the landscape we saw in Sonic's level. Where he went through the pyramid. But what's not clear is what relation Angel Island has to the Echidna tribe we see depicted here in these flashbacks. At least, that's not clear right now. I obviously have my thoughts on that, but like, that's one of those things that I'll get to it when I get to it. And that's another reason I'm doing Knuckles first and then Tails. All our dreams will come true. Look at all this dialogue I bet barely any players ever get. Sacred power? No way. Then we can rule the world. So again, see, it's very clear what happened here. They're militaristic and expansionist. Also note they're all taller than Knuckles. I find that super adorable. So they wanted to claim the Chaos Emeralds and use that power to expand even further with their violent expansionist ways. And Chaos obviously has some connection to the Chaos Emeralds. Pachacamac. Bold, brave, with him we cannot put a lose. Anyway. So it's clear that their actions raised Chaos's ire, and he apocalypsed the shit out of their asses. He flooded their entire empire, raising the water level to the point where everything that once stood is now buried underneath, like, the earth. And all that's left is the very tippy top of this pyramid. And their history and their culture has been so wiped off the face of the earth that no one knows what's left of them. Like, in modern day, we have, like, the researchers looking into their pyramid and being like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Like, there's no history left of where they once stood. And again, it's very clear that Knuckles has some relation here, but we don't quite know what it is. And I think it's interesting, like, Knuckles gets the most flashbacks in his story, but he gets the least amount of context. I could say about everyone. No one gets any context. It's not like from this flashback, he'll learn about his people and where he came from, and he'll have a greater understanding of his purpose. He doesn't get anything out of this shit. Again, the story with the flashbacks here is very much for the player.
Emeralds are essential to our survival. It is for the good of all our people.
How can I make you understand? Attacking other countries, stealing and killing can't be the right path to peace. No one has the right to take their holy grounds. I beg you, Father.
Shut up, hippie. Fucking tree hugger. I think anyone whose goal is to take over other countries and kill people isn't interested in peace. Like, how is that the debate?
What's going on here anyway?
Again, see, like, Knuckles doesn't know what the fuck's happening. Cream! Motherfucker! Cream! No one knows who you are, again, so here we see.
I wonder what those guys are doing.
Having a pretty bad trip by the looks of things. Get some rings here. Like, he doesn't get any more insight on his purpose. He just gets these weird out-of-context flashbacks and doesn't take anything away from them. I think it's kind of a bummer.
Hey, it's Dr. Eggman.
That bitch!
What's he got there? It's gotta be a part of the Master Emerald. Hold on! Come back here!
You know there are other emeralds aside from the Master Emerald, right? Again, like, nowadays, Knuckles gets exaggerated as being done, and that, being, like, straight up stupid. And that's just a consequence of, like,
Eggman!
Flanderization. You know, characters necessarily have certain traits about them get exaggerated over time.
You're right.
You're right.
That's okay, though. I can use you as a guinea pig to test it. Chaos! Chaos!
I like how Eggman's initial reaction was, "Oh shit, Knuckles!"
That creature again. The same one I saw on my island. He was there when the Master Emerald shattered. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure of it.
He saved me the trouble of looking for him. Now I'll get him good.
You know, Knuckles never really got payback on Eggman for giving him the runaround and zapping the shit out of him and trying to steal the Master Emerald.
Way to go, Chaos!
Changing shape won't scare me. Fine, give it your best shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Fuck you. Turn into a big bubble of water. Suck my dick. But the thing that I feel kind of got lost with Knuckles' character is he would antagonize and kind of troll Sonic. He would like, I'm gonna set up a trap for you, I'm gonna push this button. Yeah, flying. I'm gonna push this button and send you down. And then he'd fucking laugh his ass off when he did it. He'd be like, hehehe. But like that aspect to his character, fuck you, kinda got lost. That doesn't really ever get utilized in the 3D games. Like, he would straight up cross his arms and laugh his ass off every time he did something that fucked around with Sonic and Tails. But you never really see that aspect of his personality. He's not exactly stoic, but he's much more solemn and serious. And, like, he's also the victim of, like, slapstick comedy nowadays, but I feel like that's still fine.
Is that all you got?
Like, he's dumb, he's, like, not the most intelligent of characters, he's brawn-focused, like, he's very tough. It's funny to have a character like that be the victim of physical comedy, but being somewhat... He's much more of a serious character now in the 3D games, and I feel like you could impart of his personality in the 2D games.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, like, a big part of his character, I feel like, in those games was he would cross his arms and laugh his ass off, and now his theme song is, unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. He literally chuckles. He literally chuckled in his premiere game, and now he's like a serious guy.
What do you mean?
Stop being tricked! You're so stupid!
You're not the only one on a wild goose chase, idiot! Why should I ruin your surprise?
Why do you believe Eggman? He's fucking such a liar. Do you not remember what happened last time? I do, like, that is kind of a great moment for Eggman, though, where, like, Knuckles shows up and it's like, motherfucker! And Eggman's like, oh shit, Knuckles! Oh crap! Oh son of a bitch! But then he takes it as an opportunity. He's like, hey, I can now pit you against them in order to achieve my own ends. I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity to exploit you.
I wonder why Sonic is after the Master Emerald.
But Knuckles, you're fucking stupid.
I'd better work fast and get to the bottom of this.
Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You're an idiot. But yeah, just to get my point across. Oh, I can't. Later. So remember in Sonic's campaign how it was like, wow, it's weird that this tropical jungle, this tropical exotic jungle landscape with palm trees and shit is within spitting distance of a sheer frozen cavern. How peculiar, right? Like, that's sort of a little oddity. Like I know it's Sonic, but that's still kind of weird. That is a completely different climate. So remember how I told you to keep that in mind? That's because this area is not part of the Mystic Ruins. This is Angel Island. When we went into that cavern that like broke open on the mountain face and went up the air shaft, we are now on Angel Island. This is the landscape that Sonic 3 and Knuckles took place on. It's a very small section of course. We can't quite see Carnival Night Zone from here, but this area, the Ice Cap Zone, that's Ice Cap. That's Ice Cap Zone. That's the 3D version of Ice Cap Zone from Sonic 3. Although, apparently, Knuckles moved the shrine. I guess he was like, Eggman found the hidden palace. I don't know. I guess he moved it out from in that active volcano where it used to be and set up the Master Emerald here instead. I don't know. That's an incongruity. That's one of those things that's like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. This isn't where the Master Emerald used to be. Although, when Sonic and Tails dropped off the Master Emerald, they just dropped it off right there in the middle of fucking Angel Island Axe Zone. Like, maybe it's not a big deal. As long as the Master Emerald is on Angel Island, it's fine. Doesn't matter where it is. I guess he can just put it wherever he feels like. And I guess he found this big dais, this big cool shrine, and he's like, hey, I can put it here. Or, like, I don't know, maybe something happened on it. Like, I'm clearly reading too much into it. This is supposed to be where Hidden Palace was, but for some reason it's not underneath the giant active volcano that it used to be anymore. Whatever. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. It's fine. Shut the fuck up. Although this is clearly ravaged by time. This shrine here is all kinds of fucked up. Which again raises the question of how long ago did the culture that used to live on Angel Island, how long ago were they wiped out? Like, what happened to them? Where did they go? And how long ago did it happen? Oh my god, look at the texture of the mountain. Oh no, this game's terrible, clearly. But what I want you to keep in mind, though, is what did this shrine look like back in its heyday? Before the society that Knuckles hails from, before the people who once lived on Angel Island, before they all vanished, and the ravages of time rocked this environment, what did it used to look like? This clearly used to lead somewhere. Like, this is some kind of outcropping. Might have been a bridge. And this shrine clearly had some kind of ornate design to it, but now it's all dilapidated and busted up. What did it once look like? Just tuck that away into the back of your mind there. Just hold on to that. Put a pin in that. We'll get back to it. Come here. There we go. Oh, I can get another emblem as Knuckles too. But while we're here, let's go ahead and explore... Oh wait, I know what I have to do. I know where I'm going. Yeah, questions upon questions. But yeah, I feel like I kind of miss that aspect to his character, where he was kind of a troll. That really kind of got lost in the shuffle of the 3D games. And again, everything that Knuckles is depicted as being now isn't necessarily wrong. There's nothing to that characterization that isn't based on what was already there in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But it is funny how that kind of went away. Although in some of the more modern games, he does kind of have a slight characterization of having like a anything you can do, I can do better relationship with Sonic. So I guess you could argue that that is where that came from. I'm not sure. Anyway.